Hello fellow humans and welcome to the Madhouse. I'm Josh and today I'm doing another Top 5 Wednesday. It is not Wednesday and I've been filming 5 videos in a row now, so excuse me from drinking while I'm doing it. This week's subject is 5 books that feature travelling, and it then stipulates that it can be of any genre, which means really you could choose almost any book, which makes it in fact incredibly difficult. Number 5 is Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. Pirates, buried treasure, two-faced cooks and a journey of over 1,000 miles. What more could you ask for in an adventure? It's the first real adventure book I read and I loved it. The Hispaniola sounds wonderful every time I read it, and I can't not just read it once. Brilliant. It is, in my view, the archetypal pirate novel. It's not the first and it's probably not the best if I were to really look into it, but I still love it. Number 4 then, while we're on the whole theme of classics, is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Now I should point out that this is not 20,000 leagues down under the sea, because you'd come out the other side of the planet if you did that. This is 20,000 leagues of distance under the sea. So that's quite a long way. A fantastic journey, travelling from the Red Sea to the transatlantic cable to the Arctic ice sheets to the lost city of Atlantis. It's a journey of epic proportions and it's fantastic. I absolutely love Nemo. He's interesting and his passion for science and knowledge burns brightly, and it's only outshone by his desire for revenge against the world. A revenge that possibly leads to his destruction, although we then find out in the later novel that it didn't, but he did sail the Nautilus straight into a whirlpool. So it's not exactly a bad assumption to make. Number 3 is Airman by Owen Colfer. It's probably again a little childish, but I still love it. It's wonderful. It's less of a physical journey in this one and more of a mental one, because he spends the majority of it in a prison. Even so, the journey that is made is not exactly unimpressive. He goes literally from the deepest place he can be, under the ocean in a diving bell, to being the first man to fly. Connor Brockhart is an amazing character. He goes from a young scarred boy who just watched his mentor and his king being murdered by the same person and then put in prison for said murder, to escaping the prison, fulfilling his dream of flight, finding the love of the princess, now queen, that he loved as a child. It's like a fairy tale, but with more science and less magic. Number 2 then is The Lord of the Rings. Quite frankly, any of them. It's an incredibly long quest. So it's a very long quest across an entire continent. They go up and down mountains, through spider-filled caves, through enchanted forests, through forests that walk, in fact, not just enchanted. Oops, one moment. And on the way, they meet a host of fantastic characters, and then a host attempting to crush everything. And that entire quest is just so one tiny little man can drop a ring into a volcano, surrounded by said hordes. I love it, but like the How It Should Have Ended video said, they should have used those damned eagles. It would have saved a hell of a lot of time and effort. Number 1 then is Witches Abroad by Sir Terry Pratchett. Now, ooh, there I go again with the Pratchett. Seriously, read him. He's brilliant. Granny Weatherwax. Oh, Granny Never Walks. That's a bit strange. I don't think she'd approve of walks personally. They're too foreign, and they're just doing it to spite her. Granny Weatherwax, Nanny Argh, and Magrat travel to Genua to stop Granny's crazy fairy godmother sister from forcing people into stories, making their lives into stories. For example, forcing a girl to have some rather horrible stepsisters and stepmother so she can have a glass slipper, a marry prince, that sort of thing, when she really doesn't want to. I mean, given that the prince isn't really a prince anyway, it's also a bit iffy. And along the journey we learn a few things. We learn that Granny can start fires by staring at logs until they burst into flames out of embarrassment. No magic used, even though she is a witch. That she is called She Who Must Be Avoided and Go Around the Other Side of the Mountain by the Trolls and the Dwarves, and just how good at gambling witches are. At first glance, it may seem to be taking the mickey out of, well, how to put this, non-British cultures, and playing on a lot of stereotypes, including racial stereotypes. But when you read into it, you realise it's not those that are the butt of the joke, but rather it's the witches who represent the typical, well, rather than just witches, it's Granny Weatherwax. Like I said, it's the subject of the Brits abroad who always, while speaking louder in the hope that volume matters more than language, are the subject of the jokes. And that's why it's brilliant. Excuse me, I've had too many of these. Thanks for watching, click like and subscribe, and feel free to share and comment in this video. I actually want to know, what are your favourite books about travelling, or travelling books? I was considering a few Bill Bryson and travel books, but I decided against it because I figured, you know, there's so many fiction books that cover this, and it's a lot more fun this way. I was also considering James Rollins because especially the last few, like Bloodline, really cover it a lot, and it's a lot of fun. Anyway, that's it. I'll see you next week. Well, actually I'll be filming the next one in the next 5 minutes, but you'll see me next week, and on Friday. Bye!